TCI is brought to you by TaylorMade Stallion Forestry, the only son of Stormcat to sire a classic winner.
Welcome back to TCI, your inside track to the Triple Crown, and I'm Joel Cunningham alongside Ed DeRosa from Brisnet.com.
Back.
Ed, you're back, man. Thanks for joining me.
Oh, my pleasure. Lots to talk about.
A ton to talk about. It's a huge weekend. Obviously, John's not here to talk about this weekend. He's in Dubai. Poor John in Dubai. So he'll be following the UAE Derby. We're going to stay away from the UAE Derby, though. We have plenty to talk about with the Louisiana Derby and the Florida Derby. But first, let's recap last weekend. I know you had some action on last weekend. Did you go to the Spiral?
I did, yep.
Good.
I like Mac the Man. I didn't lose my shirt, but I lost my jacket, so thanks for letting me borrow this one.
He got injured, man. I mean, what are you going to do, right? I mean, you could tell going in the backstretch he was done, and something probably happened there. So unfortunate for Mac the Man. But if we go to the Twin Spires TV race replay, we'll take a look at the stretcher on the Spiral. Tell me what you thought about your winner there in the Blue Silks.
Yeah, I thought he ran a great race. He's clearly in form. I mean, he beat Crop Report, who won a stakes race 2 races before this. Speed rating only a 96, so I'm not sure how much we'll be talking about him in 5 weeks at Churchill. But I like the run. I mean, he put away a horse he was on even terms with, turning for home. And uncaptured, clearly shortening stride here, never got to him either. So to me, the winner was much the best. I just don't think it'll be good enough for the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, Black Onyx, and he's already at Churchill Downs, so at least he gets that, sort of advantage over the field. The fact that he's there training over the track. I think he's a quality colt. I mean, you see he's got a good way of going. I mean, if you win a Gulfstream Allowance race, I don't care what surface it's on. I mean, clearly, here's a colt with some talent and a future, and if you look at the pedigree, he should certainly get the Derby distance. I question his quality and how good of a race that was.
Sure.
You can never really tell on the synthetic. I mean, I liked Animal Kingdom Spiral, but I didn't think he'd come back and win the Derby. So, and he, was a comparable kind of horse, sort of coming out of the Gulfstream turf allowance ranks.
It's key down there.
So you never really know. I want to see how he trains at Churchill Downs, but nonetheless, he gets 50 points. We know he's probably going to be in the field, and that will be his next start. What do you think of the Sunland Derby?
I liked it better than the Spiral. Governor Charlie got a 99 speed rating, which you start to look at, that's what stakes winners are getting now. It's my lucky day, already a 111 and a 106, so not that top group. Yeah, that's better, exactly. But he's improving. This is coming out of a maiden win and one at Sunland, which has produced a Derby winner in the last 4 years. So he's going to have to improve again, and I don't think he will enough for us to be talking about him being the winner in 5 weeks, but I did like this race better.
Yeah, I mean, open links win, decent speed figure, track record. I mean, Bob Baffert, Pegram, you think everything adds up, right? The problem is, again, the quality of that field and what did he beat and how good is he going to be in his next start going right into a race like the Kentucky Derby. And he's going to have to face the colts that you mentioned a second ago. To me, I just don't think Bob Baffert ever regarded him as a top Derby hopeful. Obviously, he probably wouldn't have run in the Sunland Stakes, Sunland Derby if that were the case. No. So to me, Governor Charlie's probably a fringe player, much like your Spiral winner, Black Onyx. However, there aren't a lot of fringe players in action this weekend, my friend.
This is the weekend.
Florida Derby, Louisiana Derby, well, you put up $1 million, put a grade 1 next to one race, a grade 2 next to the other, and 100 points to your winner, you're going to get a good feel. We'll go to the TCI top 10 here. And basically, this top 10 is littered with horses running the Florida Derby. And the Louisiana Derby, you see, obviously, Palace Malice, Shanghai Bobby, It's My Lucky Day, all in action. In terms of my top 10, it didn't really change a lot for me based on the impact of the Spiral and the Sunland Derby, but 'tis the truth. Now confirmed off the Derby trail, so he comes off again. He's very talented. Yeah. I'm a fan of his. He was a colt that I really was looking forward to bet in the Triple Crown if he kept making that development. I thought he really had it, but a non-issue now. He's off the top 10, so everybody else moves up a spot. And I'm bringing War Academy in there, another Baffert colt with some talent that has the right running style and proper stamina to be and pedigree to be a classic kind of horse. He's interesting to me. We'll find out more about him in the Arkansas Derby. But let's talk about this weekend's races. Louisiana Derby first. I have Revolutionary in the top spot. He's going to be your favorite in Louisiana Derby. I obviously think very highly of him. I think this is a smart choice. Run him in this race, long stretch at Fairgrounds. He's a closer, even though I like to see him show a little more tractability early. I think he's got a little more speed than he showed maybe in the Withers last time out. He needs this race obviously from a point standpoint, but also to validate his quality. What do you think of him in the Louisiana Derby?
Yeah, he's definitely a worthy favorite. I mean, that run he made to win the Withers was electrifying. I mean, it didn't look like at any point in the stretch that he was going to get there, and he did.
I thought he was beat turning
around. Yeah, and you love to see horses that have that kind of will to win. And he's going to, as you said, he'll have to show it this weekend too. I think this is a better group, and I think there are horses as fast as him. I think his stablemate Palace Malice is in the mix. I think Code West, certainly for Bob Baffert, is a horse to talk about. And Departing got a big vote of confidence when his connections paid $6,000 to nominate him to the Triple Crown. To me, those are the threats, and I think there's going to be pace to run at with Titletown 5.
Well, it's interesting. The pace scenario is something I'm interested in because if you like Revolutionary, you better hope he gets a good pace scenario. I'm less concerned about the big field, 14 horses having to pass most of them, because I think that fairground stretch is so long, you're going to get the trip you want, in my opinion. If you're a deep closer, I think you can find your way around and get there, get free running in there. Titletown 5 is going to be your speed in the race, most undoubtedly, I'd say stretching out to a mile and an eighth.
No doubt.
I think he has some quality. I don't think he can hold off the other tactical speed in the race. I think at some point in the race, you mentioned colts like Departing, Code West, colts with some tactical speed, Palace Malice, that can come get him on the far turn, or at some point down that long stretch. It doesn't matter how much he milks it on the front end.
Yeah,
I do think there's other rival speed to go get Titletown 5.
Yeah, and Palace Malice to me is the top pick. I love the way he's improving.
Yeah.
We saw it with his sire Curlin, the big maiden, Arkansas Derby, Kentucky Derby, and then Preakness. So to me, the pedigree fits the form of a horse who's just ready to continue to move forward, and I'm expecting to see that Saturday.
I agree, and I heard he's been working sensational at Palmettos. I think he was green in the Risen Star. I think he's going to run better this time. And again, the distance isn't really a concern when you look at that pedigree, and he has some quality and tactical speed. To me, I think he's very dangerous, and he's the horse. I know you like horses to bet based on odds. He's the horse to bet in this race. I still think it's between he and the favorite Revolutionary. Two Todd Pletcher horses coming in. I think it's between those two.
Yeah, I think we like Todd better in Louisiana than we do in Florida.
Well, let's talk about the Florida Derby.
Yeah, right.
He has the champ.
Yeah.
Hey, can the champ make a comeback in here? I think he can handle a mile and an eighth. Mile and a quarter is what I'm concerned about, but he draws the rail again, and I know that's so disappointing for his connections because they really wanted to try to stalk in here. I'm not so sure he can do that now.
Yeah, I do like the rail a little better than the far outside at Gulfstream, but certainly not the ideal draw.
Right.
I think It's My Lucky Day got the ideal draw, post 3. No excuse for him. He's the fastest horse so far this year with the 111, and even the 106 is the second fastest, so he has the boss figures. And to me, there's just no excuse. I think he's number 1 on my top 10 list, and if he doesn't win this, he's not going to be number 1 anymore. I just don't see how he doesn't win this based on what we saw in the last 2 races. So either he's that horse or not. I'm looking forward to finding out.
I agree, and I love the way they've campaigned him here. What I don't agree with is he hasn't still shown me that he's the Derby horse yet. I mean, I have him outside of my top 5 right now because I look at his 9 lifetime starts, and he's obviously has that good foundation, but has he peaked too early? I do like the fact that he plays a backed off of him. Thought it was a smart choice to kind of give him a break, not go into the Fountain View Stakes, train up to this. I think that can pay dividends. I love his tactical speed, and the horse is fast and loves the track. But how did he all of a sudden make the turnaround basically overnight from an up-the-track performance in the Delta Jackpot?
They're growing boys.
I tell you what, he really took a step forward.
Yeah,
I want to see
step.
him not only, I think he has to beat this field, Ed. On this track, I look at some other horses here like Orb. I like Orb a lot in this race. He would be my pick in the race, stretching back out to a mile and an eighth. But to me, Orb doesn't have to win this race for me to consider him a top Derby contender. It's why I have him in the top 5. I think he's just going to improve with that Shug McGahee training. However, It's My Lucky Day with his tactical speed. To me, it almost feels like he has to win this race for me to jump on his bandwagon.
Well, and he's going to earn it. I mean, I think Orb and Shanghai Bobby are both very talented colts, and it's a deep field. A lot was made of Orb's closing move on Violence. I actually think the move was bigger on the far turn. You look at the Brisnet pace rating, huge middle move. So to me, if Orb can put that together again, It's My Lucky Day is absolutely going to earn it. But as I said before, no excuse. He comes into this race the fastest horse. I expect him to win Saturday, and if he doesn't, he's just not going to be my number 1.
I agree 100%. And he has that tactical speed on Orb over that track. I think that's key. But Merit Man is the wild card. I do think he infuses speed into the race, along with Shanghai Bobby, drawing the rail, having to go and break and see how things go into that first turn. I think the pace will be honest, and I do like Orb in here. But a heck of a race, and obviously
heck of a
100
weekend.
points. Big time weekend, man. I appreciate your
your
time filling in for John.
My pleasure.
I hope I played the host role okay.
Wonderfully.
I don't know what the reviews will be, but we'll be back next week.
We give out winners, everyone will be happy.
Hopefully John comes back from Dubai safely. Obviously, we'll recap the Louisiana Derby and Florida Derby next week. You can bet these races on twinspires.com. I know you will be.
Absolutely.
I will be too. A huge weekend. So thanks for watching TCI. Come back next week and recap these two races, and we'll preview the next round of 100-point major preps.